What up? It's your boy Murder, yo. Honestly, I just want to put niggas on, man, because I don't think the 2K community is smart enough to just do simple research on some of the shit that they're heavily invested in. And they can't really fathom how they're being exploited by these fucking video games, bro. And it's like, I'm getting to the point where it's like, I'm not even touching these shits anymore. They won't get another cent, not another, a fucking inkle of my time until they fix this shit. And what I'm seeing with the 2K community is that like I feel like I'm just like the only one with enough common sense to really understand what the fuck is going on here. And I just, obviously pulled it up on ChatGPT if you don't want to take my word for it. But this shit is already some shit that people should already know, honestly. But if you go and search up 2K right now in your closest algorithm in your closest search bar, you're gonna still see content creators and motherfuckers. I can understand that shit, right? Because these motherfuckers, that's essentially their job at this point. These motherfuckers they're low lives, essentially. You know, they're no different than the motherfuckers who developed the game. You understand? Essentially, they created a title or some type of following off of a title, and essentially, they're seeking to exploit that fucking commodity or audience for as long as possible, as long as they allow it. You understand? So realistically, motherfuckers promoting 2K and getting rich off of 2K, they're not gonna be the ones shaming it. A lot of times, this is motherfuckers who's losing money and losing time and losing energy playing these dumbass games. You understand? Who are essentially are on the back burners. You understand? And this is for people who don't know. Essentially, if you know already, you already know how this game is manipulating motherfuckers. You have enough common sense, enough common decency, enough discipline to not be fooled. I'm talking about like mediocrely fooled, not even advancedly fooled, like mediocre, bro. These motherfuckers don't even have to try that hard. You understand? To like sway your discernment. A lot of these motherfuckers is just absent-minded consumers. They don't really have a thought process in what they spend their money in. And there's a reason why, they spend so much of their time focused on shit that doesn't really equate to anything. You understand? They somehow create some type of mentality that they think that they're better than somebody based upon the level of competition that they could compete at in a video game. It's the weirdest shit ever, bro. I play for fun. You understand? I play for free. I've been playing 2K since 20, 2K11, 2K12. You understand? So it's like I grew up playing this shit. You understand? And I still even got the 2K16 on disc right now. I'm looking at 2K18 too as well. I have all the old titles before all of this paywall shit came into play. You understand? Before all this fucking emotional and financial manipulation came into play. You understand? So essentially, I remember what it was like to be able to impose your will in a 2K game. I remember like you had to be very selective about how you actually played in order to get a desired outcome. 2K25 is the complete opposite. 2K25 gears to manipulate people into, you know, retaining them on the game. So they want people playing that shit for as long as fucking possible. As simple as it is. They want people to play that shit as long as possible. They don't want you to stop grinding. They don't want you to stop spending your hard-earned money on this shit. They don't want you to stop. They don't want you to play anything else. They just want you to play 2K, and you're gonna be playing 2K all day, just to grind for one fucking fraction of what the game even has to fucking offer. You understand? I'm talking about one fraction. You know that little fucking the shattered fucking 99 plus. That's not even the highest reward. Why would anybody want to even grind for that bullshit? I'm getting better rewards playing something else that actually the time I'm putting in I can actually gain quicker. You understand? Like every season that they drop that fucking shit, the scattered pack or the scattered pieces, you gotta beat the challenges to collect the scattered pieces just for a 99 pack, nigga. For one fucking 99 pack and for a chance for that shit to be a character I already fucking have? Are you kidding me? But people believe like this is a game. This is a game just because they can see animations of the same fucking predictable outcomes. I swear to God, if you ever play My Team or anything like that, and if you go and play Showdown or you go play My Part, it's literally the same fucking algorithmic gameplay right after the other, bro. And me, I grind on Showdown. That's my thing. I love my team. That's what I grew up playing. My boy put me on back a few years ago. I never used to play this shit like that. But now I started grinding this shit and started trying to play it. And then essentially they made it obsolete. There's no reason to be on the shit. The shit doesn't make sense at this point. You know, playing for free is cool and all. You get a few characters. You know, you grind your way up to a few characters and a few players. But realistically, in the realm of things, you're not competing on any level. You're not competing with the Wells. You're not competing with the motherfuckers who are investing so much time and resources into the fucking game. You're just not. First of all, it takes like 60 GOAT cards to get a motherfucking GOAT character right now, a GOAT player. And essentially, it takes 30 fucking weekly cards just to get one of those fucking GOAT cards. So, like, what the fuck? To me, it doesn't even fucking make sense. You understand? Like, it just feels like some Asian sweatshop shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just feels like some Asian sweatshop shit that, like, you know, they have found a way to optimize the shit to a level that it doesn't even fucking make sense. The logic of the game actually just corrodes and it just fucking caves in on itself. You understand? People at an all-time high are backing away from this game. I suggest people should start doing that if you haven't, because it's not gonna get any better. You're not demanding anything new if y'all still paying for the same bullshit. You understand? Unfortunately, I do own the game. Unfortunately. But realistically, I was one of those ones who waited. You know, I didn't buy it on release. I waited until that shit was like, I think I paid $15. Because essentially they know this game is just bullshit. You know? They're going to hype up new titles and hype up new labels and hype up, because essentially that's all it really is. They create a new fucking title. They pick a new player to put on a title, and they create a new fucking imagery behind, and then and they just say the new year. That's all they do. They don't do anything different. They don't add anything new to the game. They don't. If anything, they're losing content. More and more players are forcing these people to pay them. So essentially, you're not going to see players that usually, you know, would originally be in a game, such as, like, who was it? I want to say Wilt Chamberlain. You understand? Like, you don't see no Wilt Chamberlain in the game, even though he's one of the greatest players ever to live. You won't see Wilt Chamberlain in the game. You understand? So, like, a lot of people, they coming for their money. They coming for their intellectual property. They come, not intellectual property, but they coming for their rights, their copyrights. You understand? So, like, they're losing more content. The more people become privy to the legalese behind these fucking games industries and how they own the right to use them in these fucking games. You understand? Even after retirement, even when they're no longer associated with the league. You understand? So it's like, these people there's an argument that the basis on which these people are trying to expand their platform is essentially, you know, it's going to be useless in the next decade, you know? But let's focus on ChatGPT real quick. I just want to explain this shit real briefly. Microtransactions, obviously we know that these niggas be gouging. You got to pay fucking $20 for a 10-pack box or some weird dumb shit like that just to get 75k VC. And that what can that actually get you? What can that actually get you? Absolutely nothing in the game. But they want $20. Why wouldn't that shit just be a part of the game? Why would I have to be paying for shit that essentially isn't new to the game? You're just giving it a new color. What the fuck is good with this shit? Why do people actually, like, pay for shit like that? And niggas get me tight, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all niggas get me tight. And predatory game mode. So, like, my team, it mimics gambling mechanics. So, like, you paying into shit like buying boxes. You're gambling with the odds and chances of receiving something that you should just be able to pay outright for, if that was the stipulation for a transaction. You understand? But of course, you're paying for shit that you're not even guaranteed, and then when you are guaranteed, is a fraction of a fraction. It's not even anything like that you genuinely want. You understand? So young players, especially teens, bro, are targeted by this dopamine-driven system with no real regulation, which is fucked up. They're preying on youth. They're preying on kids with no real discernment or discipline. You understand? And unfortunately, me, I've grown past that shit. I matured into understanding the real value of money, and this shit is just not worth it. You understand? So, badge and X peoples also manipulate grind cycles, making some players spend more just to compete, which is sad as fuck. Like right now, I've been grinding. I probably played 200 games in 2K in the past month or two. Right? I think a season lasts about like a month or two. Right? It lasts about like 2 months. I want to say like 60 days. Right? So like essentially, in 60 days, nigga, I have yet to get through that fucking season pass. I didn't pay for it, so I'm not getting any boosts. I'm just on the basic. I'm just on the basic plan, the basic seasonal rewards, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But essentially, I've been playing for the whole 60 fucking days, essentially, bro. I at least put in like, at least an hour or two each day. If not each day, on the weekends I might grind a little harder. You understand? But like yo, and then I'm looking at this shit, bro. I'm only like what level what 16, 17 maybe out of 40. And I've been playing every day. Like, what more do the fuck do y'all want from me? You understand? So it's like the shit doesn't make sense. So we got artificial grinding and nerfs. So game mechanics are designed to slow progress artificially. So it slows your progress. So that's exactly what I'm describing now. The progress of me getting through the season passes has been slowed significantly because I did not pay for it. Forcing me to grind harder. You understand? Which essentially would lead me to be like, okay, I gotta pay for something. Which is fucking it's just fucking retarded. So 2K often nerfs rewards, limits VC gains, and pass. So yeah, so you could essentially spend time longer grinding and spending more money. So double XP and event boosts create FOMO. So FOMO, I don't know what the fuck that means. I have no clue what that means. Pulling players into larger sessions just to keep up. I'm not too sure about that, but I could just guess that like I don't know really know too much. Maybe that's like my career. Maybe not sure. Poor server support and legacy abandonment. Legacy abandonment maybe is like the hugest thing out of this entire list because essentially that's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a group of developers who have exploited their consumer base, exploited a title, exploited a commodity, and essentially, I mean, let's be honest. Take Two and 2K, anything that has to do with Take Two and 2K and Call of Duty, any of those titles, you know this shit is predatory, bro. At this point, we didn't enrich these people to damn near probably like a $500 billion just off of titles, game titles. You understand? So at this point, they already reached their goals. At this point, they just seeing how far they can drag it. But essentially, they don't have no real procurement of legacy. They don't seek to do that. That's not how business runs. The longer you stay in business, the more prone you are to being shut the fuck down. The longer you stay in business, the more prone you are to liability suits. You understand? So realistically, capital ventures, they don't seek to be within business. A lot of time, it's seen the same way as job hopping. You understand? It's seen the same way as job hopping. You offer your talents and your skills to one industry, and then you abandon that industry and that legacy, so to say, and to enter another one and request higher pay due to your history. You understand? And it's no different than this bullshit. Before you know, a game's going to be $80, $90. You understand? They don't care. They do not care because it was never built to be sustainable. If anything, they have already reached their limitations when it comes to this shit. Anything else if you want in the realm of realistic, you're gonna have to be dealing with quantum machines and quantum computers and shit that can really render such fucking realism. Because at the end of the day, this is as real as it's gonna get. If the AI and the algorithmic mechanism in machine learning is not enough, and it's still providing a faulty, spotty play feel, then what else can they possibly fucking do? If AI, one of the most advanced technological advancements in recent history, what the fuck do you expect it to do? At this point, we done learned about how they merge, you know, real life animations with the body suits and the cameras and the sensors and real people running and dunking and creating animations and shit like that. That's just one aspect. That's just to make it look cool. That's just to make it look flow and look cool. Realistically, AI wouldn't be able to generate their own fucking dunk. What is a dunk? You can't even describe it to a fucking AI. You understand? Put the ball in the hoop acrobatically, flying in the air at least 6 feet while swinging, and it wouldn't be able to define that. You understand? So essentially, you have to create at least a template for it to identify and learn from. So if that shit is learning and it's not fucking really being able to really create that real feel or aspect of the game, realistically, they have used everything tangible. At that point, you're about to go into state of the art. You're about to go into the military industry. You understand? So essentially, like, there's no getting better at this game. This game is not getting any better. They know that. So they're like, okay, we need to get as much as we can before people just catch on. It's no different. So psychological exploitation, park and rec pressure, visible performance stats, right? Win loss, your grade equals social manipulation. So essentially, when it comes to how the HUD, right, the head up display or the user graphic interface, when you're actually looking at the game, they're using what you can see to socially manipulate you and to put in your mind that you're better than your competitor, essentially, which fuels your ego and allows you to be so psychologically manipulated into thinking that like you're making progress or you have some type of bragging right. You understand? Realistically, y'all all pawns being played on a very small scale because it's just a fucking video game. That's the shit that blows my mind. It's just a fucking video game. And the practices that they're even able to implement, it just shows how dumb the fucking consumer population truly is. And it's just like me, I actually care about people, you know? And this is probably one of my pet peeves. Like growing up in the world, loving people, but being able to see how fucking stupid they are, you know? If I wasn't in my right mind, I would be led to exploit these people as well. You understand? But like, me and my morals, the way I'm built, bro, like I just can't. I'd rather expose the truth and try to educate people and get people to understand what the fuck is going on. Real shit. I'm just being honest because based upon the psychological exploitation of how it's already just established in the minds of the consumers, essentially it's not hard to build from that. It's not hard to build off of that. You understand? I've thought about creating APIs, targeting 2K players because I understand how reckless they are with their money and they will do anything to compete or try to get an advantage in a game that means absolutely fucking nothing. But that's not me. I can make an honest living. I don't have to go and do weird, rigorous shit like that. Like, but honestly, if I could, I would. I'm just being honest. But realistically, like, I don't. That's not one of my goals. I'd rather make an API that can actually change the world. Than actually sit here and fucking get you dumbasses to fucking spend your hard-earned money. You probably spend $1 here for a career build, for my career build. You understand? People would love that shit. Have AI generate one for you, gender and render. At that point, the game will be pointless. I'm pretty sure people already have the data and the information to do it. It's already out there. You understand? So this is just like, so peer comparison encourages grinding and spending to not be a bot, whatever the fuck that means. Who cares? I had one kid, I was playing rec or what I was playing, triple threat, bro. One kid was on here like talking wild shit, talking about, oh, you must be broke. Cause I got the latest card or whatever the fuck, like bragging like as if like that's cool. You're spending money on something you can't take with you. You're wasting money essentially. And like to a young mind, it's cool. They don't have any bills or responsibilities. They don't have anything essentially equated to how much their income is. You understand? So it's like essentially that's where that's how they're grooming most of these young minds into thinking that like it's cool to not be broke, and showing that you're not broke is essentially what makes you cool. You understand? And it's just they're fucked. They're absolutely fucked, bro. Like they're just done off, bro. They're done. You understand? And I had to really explain to this man, like, yo, like, since when we spending money on video games? I had to explain that to him, like, yo, since when that was cool? Like, since when did that become a thing? And like he just like froze up, like he couldn't even explain himself because like essentially he doesn't even fucking know. He's been so fucking emotionally manipulated, like, it's just so bad, bro. So like I went down and I wanted to touch on the matchmaking as well because a lot of people don't understand like not only are you being, you know, manipulated through the paywalls and what you can actually see on the fucking game, but essentially you're being manipulated by the matchmaking, the algorithmic machine learning behind the screens that set up the fucking gameplay in the first place. So essentially, you're getting fucked behind scenes. You're sitting here, hunched over your controller, cursing and swearing and thinking that like, oh man, this game sucks. When realistically, these people are deliberately sabotaging your gameplay when you achieve higher than what they expected you to do. So when you're achieving success rates that is higher than the norm, you are penalized essentially. You're essentially penalized for being good. Because you being good at the game is penalizing everybody else who seeks to enjoy the game. That's how that works. You understand? So essentially, it's not fair at all. It's right here in the first one. Skill-based matchmaking barely is constantly face unfair matchups. And this is so true. I could literally have a lineup, a salary cap lineup, and take it to showdown. And somehow it will render me a matchup with like 3 fucking invincibles, 300 overalls, and a nigga who just started playing yesterday. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's ass at the game. He just started playing yesterday. So it could be essentially a player like myself who's been playing 2K since 2K12, who did the same method as I did. Waited for the game to release for like on sale, essentially, right? Doesn't make him trash at the game. He understands the algorithm. He understands how to play it. He understands the feel of the game. So it's not no real learning curve that he has to come through. It's just the fact that he's just now getting on the game. That it associates him as a low tier, low level, low experience character or player within that matchmaking process. So essentially, them being free to play and immediately gaining all these rewards due to being promoted to get the game, it just creates a toxic cycle of you just playing against OP teams and lower tiered players, essentially. And then now I'm fucked in that algorithm because essentially now I have to go and build a team of 100 overall, everything. And I can't even match make with that because essentially them niggas have been playing with 100 overalls their whole fucking life. You understand? And most of these people don't play defense. They let the AI guard for them. And most of these people, they don't want to fucking they just exploit the game in so many fucking ways, bro. That's the best way I could explain it. They exploit it in so many ways on top of how we're already being fucking exploited. So it's like I try to stay away from them high tier motherfuckers because the gameplay doesn't even fucking feel realistic. You know? It doesn't. It feels fake. It feels artificial as fuck. Like I understand it's a game, bro, and it's artificial in general, but like to me, the slower paced gameplay feels a lot more realistic to me because just in the thought process, man, you're not pulling off half the shit you see when you're playing high tier people. You're just not. All the fucking crossovers and they know when to trigger it and how to trigger it and when to shoot from it because it's a dribble, stop, move, or whatever the case may fucking be. This shit is redundant and it's ridiculous, bro. So let's go to the next one. Hidden MMR, right? I'm just reading this one because I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, usually by MVC. Okay. So hidden MMR systems that punish you. Behind the scenes, 2K is, likely uses a modified matchmaking rating. So essentially, you have your ranking that is already plays into your fucking that already plays into how they're matchmaking you. You also have your previous game history based upon how many times you won or how many times you lost. You understand? That's predicated upon how they're matchmaking. And then on top of all of that layer, this is the icing on the cake. You have a modified matchmaking rating. You understand? And its claim is behind the scenes, but realistically, that is the end all be all. If you understand what behind the scenes mean, that's the bottom line. You understand? So that's the icing on the top, bro. Everything else is just layered underneath to make it seem transparent and make it seem realistic when it's not. So after you win a few games, the system intentionally matches you with worse teammates or tougher opponents to break your streak. So you're literally playing against the AI. There's no possible way you can impose your will on this game. You're essentially playing the AI, bro. You're playing the AI every time. You got to outbeat the AI. You got to outthink the AI. It's not even about playing against the players and that person's skill set and skill base, because essentially the AI understanding the algorithmic aspect of the game, when that ball gets turned over in their possession, it's going to be significantly easier for that team to score on you. It's going to look almost unrealistic. You understand? Almost, it's going to feel like they're invincible, and it's going to be essentially with anybody. I was playing against one team, and the dude had fucking rubies, and my dark matters were being stopped by rubies. They were being stopped by rubies. I'm talking about downhill too. You can see it in your AI the way it responds on defense. You understand? You can see how your opponent's AI, let's say you got your point guard dribbling down the lane, you're gonna feel the engagement of every AI player that opponent is not switched to. You're gonna feel the engagement. You're gonna feel them get activated and respond to your character coming down that lane. You understand? But when it's their turn coming down the lane, doing the same exact shit, none of your AIs fucking activate. None of your AIs actually respond to any fucking thing. And that's a prime example of how they're manipulating that shit. This creates a win-loss loop to frustrate and stretch out progress. Me, you don't play that shit with me. The moment I feel like I'm being cheated, I just disengage. So punishing squads, rewarding spenders, solo queue players get stuck with bad AI or ball hog teammates, while squads with VC boosted players dominate. This is not by accident. 2K makes solo queuing so painful that players are forced to either squad up with pay to win play users or grind endlessly to complete. So like you see, like, yo, I don't understand this shit. Or it's like, yo, people are just intentionally sabotaging their own legacy in order to, like, for some short gain profit, bro. It's just the weakest, most, just like, there's no integrity. Like, what do these people even stand for? A quick buck, a nice vacation somewhere to try to exploit somebody. Like, want more for yourself. This is not by accident, okay? Yeah. So matchmaking keeps you in the cycle. So a bad game, you say one more. Good game, you hype to keep playing. Fuck that. Not me. Not me, bro. It just makes it even more evident to me that I'm being played. It's a carefully engineered psychological loop. Never enough wins to feel satisfied. Never enough losses to feel fully rage quit. It's designed to keep you frustrated enough to keep grinding or spending. Park and city disparity. High rep players dominate casual lobbies because 2K doesn't separate lobbies by rating or rep intentionally. Instead of learning or growing, new players just get destroyed and humiliated, leading to buying VC just to compete or quit, which helped 2K push newer titles. So this is why you need to get away from these people. They feel like they have their audience cornered in the market. So essentially, even if it's rigged, exploited, even if you're being rigged or exploited, essentially, you're still going to be invested, whether you like it or not. You understand? And the fact that there's a lack of competition, even more so, makes this more so predatory. You understand? It's not like there's another game other than what? NBA or NCAA. Like, there's no other sport basketball game that is potentially anything that comes in comparison to it. You understand? So, if you want the most modern basketball game feel, 2K is the only title. And that's the most saddest shit ever. You understand? And I'm not sure if they like. I know they're partners of the NBA, and that's probably what allows them to corner the market when it comes to basketball and how people interact with it. So the game sucks by far. I don't like playing it. Um, I regret paying for it, even though I only paid $15 for it. It was another thing because even that was a whole thing. I came in, I purchased the game. I even purchased the season pass, and then 2K somehow magically automatically keeps the ability to skip levels within the season pass in order for you to obtain all the levels before the season end. Turns out they keep that option open even after the offer has expired. So essentially, there's a gateway for them to still, you know, provide that transaction even though the content is no longer available. You understand? So, and then when you contact them and explain to them, like, okay, I made this purchase. I expected to get these level skips, but clearly I made the purchase after the season ended. Therefore, I'm not able to get to redeem the rewards. And they essentially just ignored my request and explained to me, gave me pretty much regurgitation of what to expect when the season ends and when to purchase the latest. Versus y'all making it impossible to make the transaction and steal somebody money like that. You understand? After that day, bro, I haven't, that's the main reason why I have not paid for this season pass this week. I mean, this season. Because I already knew, man, like, yo, this shit is just bogus, yo. They just scamming people. So, in the total of this year, 2K25, I spent a total of, let's see, 20 plus 15, 35, plus another 20. I spent $55. So, essentially, what you would pay full price retail for the game. You understand? Well, close to it. You understand? So I really can't complain as far as other people who are playing this game and they're really putting their money into this shit and they're really being exploited in so many ways that, hopefully this video explains, some or give you some insight of how they're manipulating the player base, and essentially how you can use this information to at least have some type of discernment and discipline when it comes to just recklessly spending your money on this horrible product. This is a horrible industry, horrible developers with horrible fucking companies such as Take Two and 2K, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Maybe there's some type of synonymous working with that. The fact that they call themselves Take Two and then now, 2K become one of their biggest titles too. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but you get my point. It's your boy. Be wise. Stay sane. Stop giving these people your fucking money. Honestly, 2K26 come out, I won't be purchasing it. I simply won't. You know, if they decide to give it out for free, I'll add it to my library just to see if there's any hype about it. But realistically, I doubt it. You understand? I doubt it. I'll add it to my library. I highly doubt I would even make space for it. You understand? I'll probably be too busy with other titles. You understand? And just understanding how the gaming industry is just, they all pretty much just hopping on the same bandwagon. Essentially, like I said before, they're gonna start charging people $70, $80 for these titles Before you know it, there's gonna be no limit to it. Eventually, you're gonna be paying $90. Eventually, $90 is gonna become the standard. Eventually, $100 is gonna become the standard. Eventually, shit, you're gonna be paying for a game, which you can get for shit. You can get more storage. You can get more fucking controllers. You can get more accessories. They get like, what the fuck? Why the hell am I paying into this game? I could be building my entertainment system. Like, people don't really fucking think, bro. Like, just be wise, bro.